Studio Series Optimus Primal took Optimus Prime's axe.
Give me that! Don't you know you're not supposed to take things that don't belong to you? What's the matter with you? You some kind of wild animal? Huh?
Hello, everyone. It is Briximus Prime, back for another Transformers action figure review. And today we are going to review the Transformers Studio Series Buzzworthy Bumblebee Optimus Prime.
By the way, if you guys plan on getting this figure, absolutely avoid buying him off of
eBay.
And taking a look at the packaging right up front here, it says
Optimus Prime.
Number 102, Buzzworthy Bumblebee, Transformers Studio Series. And then it says Rise of the Beasts. Here on the side, we got Optimus Prime right there. Here on the back,
Authentic Transformer!
So that's pretty fascinating. And then over here, we just got some images and such, and
monkey.
And besides that, there's not really much else that has to do with the packaging. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, Optimus also comes with this cardboard backdrop, and I actually really like how this one turned out. I don't know what it is, but the yellow of the Buzzworthy Bumblebee just makes it feel a little bit more unique. But anyway, that's all I have to say about a piece of cardboard. And now getting into the figure's accessories. First off, Optimus Prime comes with his little hand cannon here, which does have a 5mm port for blast effects. It's sculpted pretty well, and it's also got a 4mm port here on the back, so you can port it on. And then he also comes with his sword here that's painted up in this gunmetal gray, but cast in blue plastic. Very nice looking. Maybe would have liked an orange fade or something here on the blade just to give it that slight glow of orange, but honestly, it's not that big an issue. And we've already established that Primal took his axe, and then his sword can plug in one of two ways. There's a port here and a port here. Basically, if you use this one, the arm blade can go on like so, or if you want it to reach out a little farther, you can plug it in with a little hole right there, just above his wrist, right there. And then these ports on his back allow for some pretty good and effective weapon storage. I still think it's really weird that this guy is part of a line called Buzzworthy Bumblebee and it's an Optimus, but then again, weirder things have happened with Prime.
All the slammin' shorties in the house say, yeah.
And now here's taking a look at Optimus Prime's head sculpt, and it is very detailed for being such a small little thing. He's got very nice blue eyes in there, and I also appreciate all the sculpted detail around the helmet and on the battle mask and all kinds of, just all those little etched details look so good. But sadly, I do have one issue with this. He has the painted eyes. There's no light piping. I would have loved light piping on this figure. I hate that light piping is becoming less and less of a trend with Transformers when it's always been one of the best things with Transformers figures. Taking a look at some of the other details on Optimus, I appreciate the silver painted up right here. I like how they painted in the window wipers, and he's got the clear plastic there on his chest. And I love the Autobot insignias on his shoulders. Got bits of silver there. Some of the gray smokestacks with some bits of gray around here as well. And overall, I like the yellow. Gives a nice little contrast to the rest of the body. Got some nice gunmetal gray here on the waist, crotch, and around the abdomen. Would have liked this gray block right here to have been painted as well. Just seems a little off without it. Over the biceps and everything have got all the nice mechanical detail, and he's even got the hands right there. Opening hands would have been nice, but again, that's just a teeny little nitpick. It's just, I've been kind of spoiled by other figures with opening hands. His thighs here do look a little plain, I think. I feel like they could have used some extra level of shininess on them, but again, it's not that big of an issue. Then down here on the shins, thankfully he's got some nice silver right here to help spruce it up just a little bit. And hey, we got painted in rims. I was complaining how in my Bumblebee review his rims weren't painted. So hey, here we are, some nicely painted rims. Those look really good. And overall, Optimus Prime's feet don't look too bad, I guess. And then here on the back of the legs, this guy is not hollow at all. There's no hollow gaps on this guy. Unless you count this teeny little slot there in his bicep, you picky person. And now going over Optimus Prime's articulation. First off, he has a ball joint at the head, which allows for him to look up that far, down that far, Head can pivot, and it can, of course, swivel all the way around. Shoulders rotate a full 360. Now, I did also want to mention, due to transformation, he does have this little bit of gray right in there. And basically, this tends to shift around while you're moving the arms around. So one, be aware of that, but also this can allow for all kinds of butterfly joint movement. But for now, I'm just going to leave it as is with it being properly transformed, which allows for the arm to move outward that far. I do kind of have an issue with these shoulders because they tend to run into the head. And it's kind of hard to do like cannon poses from the side when his head is kind of getting hit by his own shoulder. So I kind of wish they went with a different shoulder design, but I'm not going to split too many hairs over it. It's just, again, my personal preference of what I would have liked. He does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbow that bends way over 90 degrees. And as you kind of saw earlier, he does have wrist swivel as well. And then he does get some nice waist swiveling. And also, due to transformation, this guy can also do ab crunch.
I can sense the presence of my legs. They're nearby.
And now moving on to his leg articulation. So his hips rotate all the way forward like that. If you notice, they're kind of hinging from slightly toward the front instead of right in the center of where the hip goes. So it ends up allowing for them to have a lot of range, but sadly not a whole lot of range going back though. Also, if you guys don't like this gap being here while his legs are rotated, you can easily just shift this piece in and that definitely fills in that gap. Just make sure you don't hinge this back while that's down or you might damage it. His legs can also move outward that far. He does also feature a thigh swivel. Slightly over 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and then his ankles are crazy. He's got a ball joint and a hinge down here, which allows for his ankles to move up and down a little bit, and then he has some pivoting at the ball joint, and then pivoting at the hinge, which allows for insane amounts of ankle pivot. So, like, really, really good articulation here. The ball joints on the ankles also allow for an ankle swivel. Almost forgot to mention that. I just wish that these shoulders were more ballin'.
I'm driving for a layoff. He shoots, he scores, what a star.
And now getting into comparisons, here is Optimus Prime compared next to the Studio Series Leader Class Scourge, and I don't think this is too bad of a sizing between the two. And then here he is compared next to my last Rise of the Beasts Studio Series figure I reviewed, the Bumblebee. And then here he is compared next to the other figure that I reviewed of this design, the movie masterpiece Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. As of me uploading this video, July 28th, today is Peter Cullen's birthday. I wish you a happy birthday, Prime. Under normal circumstances, I would compare this guy to the old Studio Series Bumblebee movie Optimus, but the thing is...
What? What the fuck?
Now let's get into Optimus Prime's quick and somewhat easy transformation. Finally, an Optimus Prime Freightliner truck mode without stupid cat ears. I do love how he's got the silver stripe going all across the front right there. I also really like his front grille bumper thing here. I really like how that looks. And then, like I said before, I love that they painted in the silver rims. I also appreciate all the painted details they do have here. The truck, I feel like, could have had these bit panels right here fold in an extra bit just to flatten it out a little bit. Or maybe some of this could have folded down into here to fill in this big void in there. This hollow hole here makes me think about how my soul is feeling a little bit hollow at the moment. You can, however, store Optimus's sword in here. There's a port right in his thigh right there. Basically, you plug the sword in right there, and then the blade pokes out there on the top, and that kind of fills in the gap just a little bit. But sadly, I don't think that's going to work on my empty soul. I don't think stabbing a blade in there is going to work. And then Optimus's little cannon has a peg right there that just plugs right on into this little bit right here on the side, so that's where you can store all of his weapons. And overall, vehicle rolls pretty well and does everything you expect from vehicle mode, so As I said before, all the sculpted detail and everything from the robot mode carries over into the truck mode, and I like how it looks. I just feel like the back here could have been cleaned up just a little bit more, especially since the one from the original Studio Series Bumblebee movie Optimus, I think, has a better back end than this. But that figure doesn't get to say anything. I did take the liberty of just kind of resting the Dark of the Moon trailer right here, just to kind of complete the look, and that actually doesn't look too shabby. Excuse me. And here's Optimus Prime compared to the Studio Series Bumblebee. And again, I do think the scale here actually looks pretty dang good. Here he is compared with Leader Class Scourge, and as you can see, the truck modes here are, obviously this guy's bigger and longer. That's what she said. And then here he is with the MP12 movie masterpiece, Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime truck mode. This isn't really a fair comparison besides just size. That's also what she said. And also, as previously mentioned, this disappointment will never again see the light of day. Honestly, I actually don't have much to say about my final thoughts on this figure. It looks like him from the movie in both robot mode and vehicle mode. The vehicle mode has great detail, as well as the robot mode. The posability is actually above average, I'd say. I just wish the shoulders were just a little bit, you know, different. But besides that, I honestly don't got much to say. I mean, he looks good, looks great. I don't mind the price that I paid for him. I do feel like he is missing some accessories, but I guess that's what the Optimus Primal is for, I guess. But overall, I honestly don't got much to complain about here. The only thing I really can complain about is how hard it is to get this figure. Because we really need to address the elephant in the room, how stupid it was for Hasbro to make this a Target exclusive. It's Optimus Prime, literally like the face of Transformers. Like, why is this guy an exclusive of all things? The point is, it's still stupid that this guy is, like, hard for everyone to get, but it's Optimus, the one who everyone wants. So if I had to give this figure a rating, I give him a very, very solid 9 out of 10. He's just barely there. I guess I could give him a 10 out of 10, but it's like, it's just barely on there, because I do still have a couple of teeny little nitpicks like those shoulders, because there are some poses I wish I could get him in, but I just can't because of the way how it's designed. But yeah, that is basically it for this review. If you guys liked it, give me a like on the video. Comment down below what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel for more Transformers and action figure videos.
And I'll catch you guys next time.
Let them come.